we designed the world's best camera.
A smartphone with not one, not two, but 5 Zeiss lenses.
The highest resolution sensor.
64 megapixel quad camera.
The camera. It's one of the most important tools in our lives today. And smartphones enable us to capture the world around us in great detail, from our most personal moments to capturing artistic photos. But how does the camera work? Let's see in this video. The camera is an instrument to capture still images or to record video. But there are many components to a camera, like the megapixels, lenses, aperture, and processing. So let's talk about megapixels first. When you're looking at a camera in a phone, the first thing you look at is the megapixel of the camera. But what is a megapixel? Let's talk about what a pixel is first. It's a tiny transistor that can collect light, and 1 million pixels equal to 1 megapixel. That's 10 lakh pixels. And each pixel captures one tiny part of a photo. So if these pixels are low in a camera, the detail in a photo will be very less. So higher pixel count will produce better detail in photos. But the sensor size of smartphone cameras is very small. So for a 48 megapixel camera and a 16 megapixel camera, the sensor size is almost the same. The size of one pixel will be very small in a 48 megapixel camera, that is 0.8 micrometers. For a 16 megapixel camera, the pixel size will be 1.2 micrometers. If the pixel size is bigger, the camera can capture more light and more detail, and the file size of the photo will increase with the resolution of the camera. But sometimes, when two phones have the same camera, the same photo will be a bit different. That is because the image processing software used by different companies make different kinds of software processing for their cameras to produce certain kinds of photos. Photos from iPhones have natural colors and great detail. Photos from OnePlus phones have good detail but sometimes over-sharpen their images and the colors are saturated. Images from Samsung phones have great detail and high dynamic range in showing colors. But the best example for good image processing is Google's Pixel phones. What they did with software can't even be achieved by many other phones, even with the best hardware. Brilliant and bright night shots, and perfect balance of great detail and vibrant but natural looking colors. All this is done with software processing that Google made and implemented into their Gcam camera app. Even you can try this app on your phone. Just Google Gcam app for your phone. This is all well and good, but for a camera to function properly, it should collect light. And for it to collect light, it should have a hole to view the outside world. And the size of this hole is called the aperture of the camera. How much light the camera gets depends on the size of this hole. For example, if the aperture of a camera is f1.7, the hole is bigger and allows more light than a camera with f2.8 aperture, which has a smaller hole. But the camera with a smaller hole is more suitable to take a long distance shot, and a camera with a bigger hole is suitable for close-up shots and night shots. And this is the reason that telephoto cameras have high aperture and a camera having low aperture can take better night shots. But the latest Samsung phones have variable aperture that can change from f1.5 to f2.4, which lets the camera be good at both telephoto and night shots. And it's not only the aperture that provides light to the camera, but also the lenses. There are many different types of camera lenses: telephoto lenses, wide-angle lenses, etc. They all help the camera do different things. A telephoto lens has two lenses inside it, and one of those lenses has a higher focal length, which lets you zoom into the image up to 2 times or more without losing any image quality. Normally, a camera will digitally crop the image to zoom in. This will reduce the image quality a lot. A wide-angle camera will capture a larger image and can take long exposure shots, like the ones in Samsung phones and in the new iPhone 11. They're great for capturing a wide-angle landscape or scenic photos. But in low light, there can be distortion and low detail in the photos. A periscopic lens, like the ones in Huawei phones, is just that, a periscope. There are 2 mirrors. One at the opening of the periscope, which reflects light from outside onto the second mirror inside the lens, and this sends the image to the camera sensor. This is used by Huawei for taking lossless 10 times zoomed photos, but there's a problem with periscopic cameras. They aren't anything new in the pro camera world either. It's well known that periscopic lenses can't produce high quality images. They are often blurry and lack detail, and it's the same case with Huawei's periscopic zoom lens. And that's it, guys. These are all the important things you look out for in a camera when you're buying a new phone. But some of you might still have one more question. Can a camera ever be as good as a DSLR? No. It's simply because a DSLR has a much bigger sensor physically, and a smartphone camera has a very small sensor size, so even if the resolution is just as big as a DSLR, it can never be as good as a DSLR camera. That's it for this week. Let us know what you thought about this video in the comments. Like and share this video and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.